Hey y'all, welcome to Vaping Zone University. I'm Anthony. Today's 101 class, we're going to talk a bit about the iTaste, the variable voltage mod, a 3.0 version from Heineken. Let's have a look at it real quick. Nice sturdy box. We've got a retractable USB charging cable, micro USB. We've got the battery itself, fairly well protected. And for those of you that like to read, there is a small manual. So let's first start with how to charge it, and then we'll talk a little bit about the features, and then we'll move on to have a vape. Let's get started. Let's take a look at some of the features. Here we have the 800 milliamp hour battery. At the top, we've got eGo threading, and the inside is a 510 thread. We've got some nice rivets here along the top, keeping everything in place. Nice iTaste logo. Right here we've got our button, clicky. If we click it 1, 2, 3, it'll flash red, yellow, green, and now it's on. You know it's on because as you press the button, the LED lights up. If we click it again 3 times quick, it'll flash, and you press the button, no longer on. We follow on down here to the screen. We've got a little minus button and a little plus button. We've got an LED display and a micro USB port to charge. Let's first take a look at how we'll charge the battery, and then I'll take you down and we'll look at some of the menu features and how to use it, and then we'll have a vape. Alright, here's our nice retractable charging cable. It'll go all the way out to here, and it'll stay like that until we pull it a little bit more, just gently, and it'll rewind itself back up. It's kind of handy. It'll stay as long or as short as you'd like it to. So this will plug into your power source. A wall adapter does not come with this mod. You can buy one, or you could use your computer or a wall adapter you have already. Now we've got the micro USB, and it will go into the bottom part of the mod here. Now, simply plug it in. You shouldn't have to force it. And as you'll see, matter of fact, I'll turn it off and turn it back on so you can see again. When you plug it in, it'll blink. It'll go from red to yellow to green and blink green. Blinking green means it's pretty full as far as the charge is concerned. If you're out and about vaping, the light will, as you vape, turn from green. As the battery gets a little bit less, it'll turn to yellow, and then it'll go all the way down to red. It means just what you think it means. Green means we're getting fully charged. Red, it means it's time to charge it. Yellow means I would be starting to try and find a place I could charge my battery. And when it's finished charging, so the manual says, this green light will turn off completely, and you know it's ready to unplug. Now let's look at a few features. So now we've got the battery itself. It's an 800 milliamp hour battery. We've got our fire button, 1, 2, 3, on-off button, and fire button. We've got 2 buttons down here. We've got the up and the down. If you were to hold the up, it'll give you a puff counter first, and then it'll tell you where you are volt-wise. So if you want to change your voltage down, hold that down. It'll display volts, and it'll go up or down from 3.3 all the way up to 5 volts in 1.1 volt increments. If you want to change now from voltage to power or wattage mode, hit your plus button here, wait for the display to come up, hold your power button, and it goes from voltage to P for power. Same way, if you want to change it back to voltage, hit the bottom or the minus button, pull counter will come up, display will come up, hold, it turns down to voltage. It's that simple. So now, if you want to check the resistance on an atomizer or a cartomizer, simply put your atomizer or your cartomizer on, just finger tight. If you are to hold both the plus and minus at the same time, it'll display the resistance and how much voltage you have on your battery. So again, that's your resistance, and that's how much voltage is left on your charge. Another note, when you're charging, this battery does act as a pass-through. So if you're charging it, you can vape while it's charging. All right, we've gone through the features. Now let's have a quick vape. Before we get started, I want to just give you a tip, word-wise. Whenever you're traveling with your battery and your clearomizer, separate them. Don't leave them connected when you put them in your pocket or your purse or your backpack or the like, just because a few things can happen. One, the tank itself can break, and that leaves you with a broken tank, no vapor, and a pocket full of e-liquid. Or worse, the battery could break, and then you're sitting with a tank and no battery to vape with, and the battery can be expensive. So with that, just make sure it's also turned off, because sometimes you can keep it together and it'll fire and keep firing and fire over and over again, and it'll drop all your e-liquid, then you'll have a burnt coil and no vapor. And each one of these scenarios means you'll have no vapor and something will be broken. So better off to just keep them separate. But when you're ready to have a vape, go ahead and put them together. And when we do put them together, just thread it so it's finger tight. Don't over tighten it, because over tightening, as we know, sometimes breaks tanks, it'll break threads, it'll break batteries, and it'll leave you with no vapor, which is no good. 9 times out of 10, you want to probably start with a lower voltage or a lower wattage setting, just because, particularly if you're starting with a new clearomizer or a new cartomizer, that coil and wick hasn't had a chance to fully soak up all the e-liquid it needs to make good vapor. So start lower. Don't crank it all the way up to 6 or 5 or whatever the highest setting is for the mod you're using. It'll give it a chance to soak up e-liquid and kind of break in the coil. But now, once you've broken in the coil and it's time to vape, vaping, remember, it is not like smoking. It is very much like taking a sip out of a straw or something similar, in that we press the button, we take a sip, and out comes vapor. So let's give this one a shot. We're on. Pretty good vapor. So there's our iTaste VV version 3 from Anakin. I'm Anthony. Until next time, remember, vape, don't smoke.